Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal and helps support the show. Today's video is also brought to you by the giveaway I'm doing. In the description, there will be a link to the giveaway I'm doing for Riel. Go ahead and click that, fulfill the link, the giveaway requirements, and at some point in the near future, like the next week or so, I'll do a drawing to see who wins the Riel. What is up, Planeswalkers 36, back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Today we're going to be playing some historic Bolas, as it is Tuesday for me, which means it's Wednesday for you, which means it's Bolas Day, and Bolas Day is one of the best days. So, in preparation for the quickly approaching Historic Anthology 3, I'm going to go ahead and check out a different version of Bolas. This is Fireless. We don't have Fires of Invention, and because we don't have Fires of Invention, we are not running Mastermind's Acquisition. Technically, I could still run Acquisition without Fires, however, it is significantly worse because we will only ever be able to have it be a full mana setup, and that is not the best. So, I've made several modifications. I think the primary one, obviously, is the fact that we're not running Fires and Masterminds anymore. So, you know, we've essentially lowered our ability to get... We've lowered our versatility, right? And what essentially I've done, though, is traded that in for raw power, right? Fires of Invention is a strong card, however, by itself, doesn't do anything, right? Mastermind's Acquisition is a very strong card, however, it requires turns to set up if you don't have Fires of Invention. So now, each of our cards is going to be able to do something by itself. It does mean we're going to potentially be doing that slower, which is why I added a lot of extra removal. I added one additional Murderous Rider, 2 Bonecrusher Giants, and then I added a Ritual of Soot. So the Bonecrusher Giants, in general, are going to help out with the aggressive decks. 1, I can kill one of them on turn 2, and 2, of course, I get to play it as a 4/3. What'll also help is that against the more control decks, I'll actually have a threat that is sizable enough to really put pressure on them in the main deck. And that is something that I've said several times is one of the key issues with this deck facing other control decks. The additional Murderous Rider, obviously, it kills things. Excuse me. Drink my apple juice. Delicious. The Ritual of Soot, as opposed to Extinction Event, is essentially because Gruul has a lot of cards that can come down super early, right? Gruul can have a really strong bursty game where they have really insane turn 2s and 3s, and Extinction Event won't always get rid of all other things, right? So I figure, but Extinction Event is better overall against many more decks. So I figure we're still going to do a split here. 3 board wipes in the main deck, pretty low, if I'm going to be honest with you, especially since we don't have access to our wish board anymore, but hopefully it'll be fine because of the amount of extra removal we added here. To Atris, I wanted to go back into getting some card advantage, and Atris is one of the best ones for that. Technically, I could have used Kefnet. We only have 13 instant sorceries, and I cannot recall if that counts these. I don't think they do. No, I don't think they do. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I don't care. So technically I could have used Kefnet, but Atris is, I think, a little bit better for this. It does make Shark Typhoon a little bit worse. And something that you might have noticed is that I still don't have things like counterspells in the main deck, even though I'm not running Fires of Invention. The reason for that essentially is on 4, right? I want to be playing Nicol Bolas the Ravager, right? Like that's the main goal. If I don't have Nicol Bolas the Ravager, I'm probably going to want to play a board wipe, right? So on 4 at least, I'm hoping I don't actually pass the turn with mana up, right? Same with the turn 5, right? I'm hoping not to pass the turn with mana up. Turn 6, essentially the same thing. So I've decided to make my kind of earlier plays, some of my earlier plays be modal, right? Like I can play this just as a 3-mana 4/3 against control and it'll be fine. Or I can essentially have this held up and hit something for whatever. Now, what you might notice here, right, is that these can, or this one I should say, can be considered a 2-drop as well, which is something that I kept in mind, because it means that I hopefully won't be taking as much damage from my lands, because, on turn 3, I can still play a Shockland tapped and use a Stomp, but whatever. We've added in 2 Bedeck Bedazzles. This is more removal. This is hopefully relatively easy to cast removal. But what I really like about this is, 1, it's -3, so we can get around certain shenanigans. But 2, it allows me to have a main deck hate card against Field of the Dead, right? We can, Field of the Dead. You know, later on in the game, if we top deck this, we can just Bedazzle their Field of the Dead. Now, obviously, that's not necessarily going to be in and of itself the best, which is why in the sideboard, I still have several things to deal with that. So, just addressing Field of the Dead, I still have a Virulent Plague, and I've upped it to 2 Blood Suns. Notably, we only have Search for Azcanta, which would be affected by this, and technically, like, our shocks and checks, but, well, kind of just our shocks, to be honest. So that is, you know, one thing. But many other decks may have a bunch of weird land stuff, so Blood Sun helps there. I'm running 2 additional Agonizing Remorse against the control decks. This is just more ways, you know, we take out our rituals or whatnot, and we just go ahead and take their stuff away. We still have 1 Elder Spell. I don't know if that's correct. 3 Mystical Disputes. Blue is everywhere. Of all of the counterspells, this is kind of the one that I can justify the most in the sideboard. I don't know if that's correct or not. 3 Thief of Sanity. Just more 3-drops to play against control. I did consider running that goblin, not Cranko, Legion War Boss. But I didn't, because Thief of Sanity will possibly still come in against Field of the Dead decks, because it's something that's early and I can start stealing cards from them. But I'd also, like, it doesn't interact with Virulent Plague, whereas Goblin-y Boy does. So I was like, and then we've increased our number of End of the God Eternals, just because, you know, I don't want to die to red-green decks. So we'll see. I've not played with these decks with this version yet, so we'll see how it goes. Lord Bolas. And play. I must once again reiterate how grateful I am that people are asking a lot of comments, or asking a lot of questions on the Discord server. It is really cool. I really do appreciate it. And we'll get to some comments after we start the video proper, as I'll say. Going against Destero. This hand is bad. We don't have enough lands, frankly. This hand is actually quite nice, especially since we get to go first. I do think I'm going to drop the Bolas. Shark Typhoon, if nothing else, I can cycle. Yeah. Let's play this tapped. Cool. Green, alright. And you bolt the bird. Yeah, you always bolt the bird. I'm going to go ahead and kill this. Cool. Peter the Noob asks what I think about the recent ban and restriction announcement, and I shall, you know, give my thoughts on that, because I think it is quite interesting. So the recent ban and restriction announcement banned cards in Brawl, Legacy, and Vintage. It didn't ban anything in Standard, Modern, or Pioneer, and many people have been upset with that. Shadow Sphere, interesting. This could be an elf deck. This very well could be elves. I think I'm gonna graveyard this. I have 4 mana. Not bad. I could kill this Paradise Druid. I think I'm just gonna Atris though. Just get more. Yeah, just get more in general. Luckily, my opponent hasn't put too much pressure on me, so I'm not terribly worried. And this Atris is easy block bait, to be honest. I think we take the double cards. This is probably a Planeswalker, but we couldn't cast a 5-drop anyway, so I think we choose this. All right, I did forget about that possibility. Wildborn Preserver. So this is an elf deck. And they could equip Pelt Collector with Shadow Spear, but I can still block it, and it shall die. Okay, they equipped it to Preserver, sure. So this can put me up to 6. Sure. Sure, that's fine. Play this. I will erase some thoughts. And I will likely bedeck that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Hydra. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Hydra. Oh, alright. I don't need to bedeck this anymore. I've got a Ritual of Soot, which kills all of this nonsense. It's an instant. I still might do it if I have to, but I don't have to. So in Brawl, Drannith Magistrate was banned. Winota, Join Her Forces was banned. I hadn't experienced a lot of Winota, but why did I let that resolve? It's fine. I'm not too terribly worried, to be honest. And I think I just take this damage. I save Bedeck for this. And I just wipe their board with Ritual of Soot. Odd, odd, even, odd, even. So, I mean, even here, like, if this was Extinction Event and I knew about it, I would block this and kill it with Bedeck. And then I would be able to Extinction on odds. And I would essentially do, like, what I would want. Library. Go to Ritual of Soot. Bye-bye. And I will just attack. Cool. So, I don't know too much about Winota. They said Winota is, like, heavily played and also annoying. I'll take their word for it, frankly. I guess I could, but... Oh, it's non-basic. Never mind. Just get bedecked. Drannith Magistrate, though, I just disagree with. Like, it's a creature and it's not a very, like, strong one. I don't know. I feel like it would have been fine. Do I just want to cast the Shark Typhoon? No, I don't think so. One, I don't want to show them that I have it. And two, I think I would rather just get a big dude. Yeah, I don't need it. I didn't need it for this, but I didn't need it at all. So here, I'm possibly going to Bonecrusher Giant them. And Azcanta end of turn. 10... No, yeah, cool. Yeah, Drannith Magistrate, like... It can only go in decks that have white in them, whereas Sorcery Spyglass can go in any deck. And it's like a relatively small creature. So I'm kind of like, eh. Wait a minute. Did I not do Traditional Historic? I hate myself. All right, we're gonna do Traditional Historic after this game. Feeling dumb. In Legacy, they banned Lurrus, Lurrus of the Dream Den, Zerta the Dawnwaker. I don't play Legacy right now. Vintage, Lurrus the Dream Den, actually banned. First power level ban in years, I think since like 90s, like 96 or something. People are upset that they didn't do any bans in Standard, Modern, or Pioneer. My main issue with these current bans is I've heard Legacy is not broken just because of Lurrus. It's been a mess since Astrolabe came out, and that Astrolabe should go. What the hell is this? So I think here we just get rid of Paradise Druid. I can Murderous Rider this. Yeah. Cool. And now I can leave up my Murderous Rider without actually showing that I'm leaving up Murderous Rider. In Standard, frankly, I just haven't played enough Standard for me to, like, legitimately say this card should or shouldn't be banned. I've just not played enough Standard, especially in a competitive way. You know, my competitiveness is almost entirely historic right now. I would like to see bans in Modern. particularly, you know, naturally even in things such as that. Swift End. Okay, so here, pay some life for the Blood Crypt and play a Bolas. Bolas because it's the hardest to get rid of out of the two. You know, I don't suspect that they're playing a Nullhide Ferox in the main. Cool, they get rid of Winota. I assume they might play Domri. Domri plus would keep Domri alive. Domri minus would potentially give them cards. So I don't know what they value most in this situation. I don't know enough about Pioneer. So that's essentially how I feel about the ban restricted list. Not much, essentially. Domri, alright. Are you going down or are you going up? Going down. Makes sense to me. Against the control deck, you want to, you know, maximize your card advantage. You got some okay cards, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and murder Domri. And play Ashiok and start making some cool dudes.
Listen to my whisper.
Let's see. Mellow Kitty asked, which tribe or mechanic or theme do you think needs more support in the upcoming sets? Format isn't relevant. Dogs. And I don't, not hounds, not freaking foxes, not, I mean, wolves. I'm okay with wolves being separate. Sure, whatever. Not jackals. Dogs. It is nonsense to me that cats get to be like the entirety of Felidae, but dogs can't be the entirety of Candidae. Fucking favoritism garbage. I'm gonna minus Ashiok and put this back in your hand, my friend. And then murder Domri. Or do I want to... No, I want to put Domri... What do I want to do? I want to murder Domri. I can just play Atris.
Your heroics are but a dream to me.
Yeah, let's play Atris here. Don't know why I used both of my blue instead of just one. Whatever. Besides that... Cool, I chose correctly. Besides dogs, the Minotaurs are, you know, they're cool. They're like on the cusp of being playable. My dude has gotten 3 of their Domries. Sure.
You're gonna hurt when this is through.
No, I'm not. I'll be fine. Sure. I have Bedeck. They had another Domri coming out. Jeez, dude. I could play Domri, perhaps. I think I'm just gonna +2, to be honest. I don't really care about a Domri. Alright, cool. I just wanted to draw cards. Let's see. Nightmares. You know, we got a little bit in Ikoria. Nightmares are cool. No, cancel. I'm not gonna resign. I thought it was weird that I had 3 wins. Traditional historic event. I feel so stupid. Okay, let's actually play now. 20 minutes into the video. Mechanic or theme? Well, theme is too difficult. Mechanic. What mechanic do I think needs more support? We're going to get some cycling support back. This hand is very slow. We're going against a Luris deck. God, I keep trying to do it. We're going against a Luris deck. With a kind of slow hand, but at the same time, like, I got lands and spells. Like, I can do this on turn 2 or 3 if I have to. What? Really? Jeskai, Luris, Tempo. Huh. I have to say, it's different at least. I also have to say I'm gonna be real salt if my opponent has counter spells. Alright, this cycles! Get fucked. Oh, I love that, it cycles. I don't know. I don't know what mechanic. You can't counter this. You can't counter this. Technically, you can, but it has to be with a particular card. Don't love that I have all 3 of my Ashioks here. I don't want them to do combat damage to me. Play another Vanguard. Into tap land, alright. So I think I Bolas here. Yeah, I Bolas here. Ah! Is this a feather deck too? No, this is not a feather deck. No, just a really weird tempo deck. Alright, I would love Cry the Canarium. Show me Canarium! That is not Carnarium. I die if I don't get to block. Interesting deck, Captain Doge. I'm obviously going to take these. Like, Bolas wouldn't actually do much here. So I'm probably still dead anyway. Can give that pro black. What's that? It's haste. I have to block there. I am just barely alive. Okay. Do you have any 2 damage burn spell? I did not draw the card I needed. Let's take a Contempt. I'll take an End of God Eternals. Do I want Mystical Disputes? I feel like I might. I mean, so far we've only seen like this, but like Staggering Insight is a good card to dispute. What would I take out? I think Search for Azcanta is relatively slow here. Same with Atris. I think Atris overall is kind of slow. Bolas. Shark Typhoon is nice because it can't be countered. We're going first. I think I'm going to try Disputes. There's an argument to be made for Remorse as well. But I think for now I'm going to try it like this. New sideboard, Who Dis? Lowly Bible. asks, what is my favorite deck archetype? Which colors fit it best, and why is it your favorite? Technically mid-range. Technically Abzan. Technically, this hand makes me sad. I can't keep his hand, right? I can keep his hand. Yeah, get rid of this. Turn 2... Turn 3 and 4. Yeah, this seems fine. Death and Taxes is like my favorite deck to play. Tax effects are fun. I don't think I've ever veered into stacks decks, but I've really enjoyed tax decks. I'm trying to think. Oh, if I play this on turn 2 for this, then I can't necessarily do this, which is fine. Unless I play an Ailsid on turn 1. An Ailsid on turn 1, I guess, could be an issue, but... yeah, in general, though, it's Abzan mid-range, and I like to cast really efficient creatures, Cough Sea Drino, with really good removal. Cough Mythos of Nethroi, right? Well, they played an Ailsid on turn 1. Go emulsify yourself. Let's see. Aether Gust is interesting. Let's see. I think I just get rid of 10th District Legionnaire. Probably play Dorat. Yeah, this is fine. That is fine. They top decked another 10th District Legionnaire. Go frank yourself. I'm just gonna kill it now. They have access to this, and I don't want them doing any shenanigans. So this will probably come out. Unless they just play Lurrus now. If they play Lurrus now, that'll actually be really good for me. Okay, so they don't. Okay, so they get a card, but they didn't protect that. So we'll be able to kill that, which is nice. Interesting. Yeah, they'll use Aether Gust here, that's fine. Question is, do I put it back on top? I don't think I do. Oh, was I talking about a question? Oh, I asked the question. Let's see, TARDIS 915. Interesting. Interesting. Just gonna get beaten by Jeskai Tempo. I mean, congrats for making an interesting deck. I don't know if this is like actually new or not, but then you Curious Obsession on the second Ailsid. Now you play that instead to try and kill me. Makes sense. Oh, and I know that's on top. Yeah, I can never win. I don't know what happened that game. I considered running Disfigure, but I figured I wouldn't need it. I disfigured I wouldn't need it. Tarts asks, if you were a planeswalker, where would you call home, and what would your magic be? So, you know, in real life, I'm like kind of a Sultai person. Not the place Sultai, just the color combination, black, blue, and green. Where would I call home? I mean, it depends on many things. Where would I like to live? I don't know, somewhere. What's like the relatively safest place? Kaladesh had like a political turmoil, but not, you know, not a super massive issue. Fiora's kind of in the same boat. Eldraine seems... No, Eldraine has, like, spooky stuff. I don't know. I think if I had to choose... I think Kaladesh is probably the safest place. We'll keep this. Going against Umori. See, that's interesting. So this is going to be... Each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Is my dude playing... Is my dude playing like instants or something? Like mono instants? I want to find out. No, they're playing artifacts. Well, I'm going to play one of these. Which I can... Bedeck, unless they roll... Fuck. So I'll be able to Bedeck this. Unless they roll relatively well. Let's hope that they don't roll relatively well. Anything with a +1. Alright, that's fine. Yeah. If my opponent plays Umori, I probably will 2-for-1 myself. Yeah. Because it's not a full 2-for-1. It's only a minor 2-for-1, but I do think it's worth it. Make sure I'm playing Nicholas Bolas. Soulfly Artifacts. Very interesting, though. But in 2 turns, I'll be able to flip my Nicholas, so... if it were a place I would like actually be born, it would possibly be Eldraine. I'm kind of thinking like most of my heritage is French, like near 60% of it. So it could be Amonkhet. Well, no, it wouldn't be Amonkhet because Amonkhet would be northeastern African, and I believe my ancestry on that side traces back to West African. I will absolutely kill one of those. I doubt my opponent's going to block. All things must die in my eyes. Ravnica's also not terrible. It's, you know, it's... And, like, possibly Ravnica, but... Fiora, maybe? Fiora has a decent amount of, like, kind of French influences, I think. Although, I feel like it's a little bit more... like, southern France... Southern, or southwestern France, northeastern Spain. Yeah, I think I want to just kill that. Just don't let him do anything interesting. tear it down, tear it all down. Yeah. Yeah, tear it down, tear it all down. If I were to specify my magic, it would likely have to do with ascertaining the origin of something. Very similar to, like, Dovin's magic. Not fully, obviously. But if I recall correctly, like, a lot of the Vidalcan on Kaladesh are able to kind of get an understanding of, like, the inner workings of specifically an object. Mine would be a little bit more nature-y, I suppose. I'm smorking, baby! Yeah, then you activate that. And you activate that, yep. I think I'm going to make them discard and play a Bonecrusher Giant, because if nothing else, next turn I can flip this and just get that one back. This way I force them to discard a card. Alright, wasn't great anyway, but still. Stomp the yard. Haha, I'm funny. I don't know, I feel like maybe creation and destruction magic. I don't know. It's really hard, you know, because we're not magic. You know, we're humans. I know humans in MTG can be magic, but you know we're not. And if you think that you can actually do magic, my recommendation is to see a professional. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult to actually like try and think of what your powers would actually be, especially when you're as boring as I am. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So there are two, and I currently don't have a way to kill my opponent because I have sufficient blockers now. Yeah, so they can put Joyless Familiar too high.
Is incredible.
I have another Bonecrusher Giant. Could just kill the Joyous Familiar. I think I'm gonna do this. It forces them to discard. They could potentially attack in, but they need another flying blocker in order to not die. So it's not like they can attack with impunity. I can't really attack with either of these, unfortunately. My opponent will be able to double pump their artifacts now. But yeah, the thing is they need to keep their Joyous Familiar around. So any other kill spells I might have would be pretty helpful here. Ritual of Soot's still decent. Goodness. Throat getting a bit dry. Treasure map, sure. They're trying to pop off, and they're doing a decent job of it. Okay. Okay. I gotta say, Chalice of an Antique Land. Cool deck. Fudge. That has protection from multicolored. Luckily for me, they still can't really attack me with impunity. So I'll be able to draw 2 cards next turn. I'm still drawing live to my second Bonecrusher Giant. Why is that coming in with a 1/1 counter? Oh, right, this it costs 1 less to cast, right. Okay, so now they can attack me. No, they don't have men anymore. Okay. They might be able to kill my Bolas, but if they're not careful, they still could just die. Also, I can just potentially get it back again, so. Although it would take my mana. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do. They have to be very careful. Not Dish Soap asked, what is my opinion on the Ikoria Commander Precons? I've heard decent things about them. I've heard one major bad thing about them, which has been true for like all of the Commander Precons, especially recently. Apparently, the mana bases are garbage. So I'll echo that sentiment. I preferred if the mana bases weren't garbage. Is my opponent trying to kill me? Alright, I'll do some math, I guess. Actually. Nope. These don't have trample. So I'd gain 2. I'd go up to 22. Let me just triple check. I would gain 2. I'd go up to 22. These are being blocked. Okay. This is 12, 20. I would live on 2. I don't know if my opponent did the math right. All of these are tapped. They have no mana open. Let me just make sure. These do not have trample. I'm gaining 2. I'd go to 22. 4 times 3 is 12. 4, 8, 12. Plus 8 is 20. I should live on 2. They have no flying blockers. So unless they have their last Stone Coil Serpent, they should be dead. My opponent did not do the math. Math may be for blockers, but get fucked. Well, no, this is just awkward, isn't it? Thief of Sanity early on, maybe? End of the God Eternal seems helpful. Maybe I remorse? Maybe I want to remorse? Huh. Not sure. Not sure. I don't think I need Azcanta. I don't think I need Shark Typhoon. Yeah. I think I would just rather have that. And I think I'm going to drop a single Bolas. This doesn't bring in Contempt. Maybe I want Contempt as well. Just like maximize my removal. And drop Ashiok. Drop 1 Ashiok. I think this is probably fine. I don't think I want the Dispute here. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that is rough. That is really rough. I'm gonna keep it though. I'm gonna keep it. Potentially hazardous to my health. Alright, potentially decent. I'll play this because there's more. Jeez, yeah. This was potentially a mistake. Alright. So on this coming up turn I can Bonecrusher Giant this. Okay. So I can kill this. Ow. Although no, I think I do need a Bonecrusher Giant this. Even if I end up Extinction Eventing Umori. I don't know what the rank. I did it now just in case. I didn't want to wait till their turn, because they could just potentially choose not to use it, and then I'd like have wasted my turn. Because since they're already a 2/2, if I tried to do it in response, then it wouldn't end well for me. So they cast Umori. They choose artifacts. That's real helpful. I might need to save this, honestly. And I have the ability to potentially double Thought Erasure. Yeah, I think I just prefer this. That's quite nice as well. So I'm gonna go down to 8. Which is less nice. It's yeah, I should have been a little bit more smart about that. Because I have both of these, I definitely should not have kept that first Murderous Rider on top. Because it's much better for me to draw into something where I can cast Ashiok or Bolas. Remorse is not what I want here. I think I'm gonna go with Atris. I might force them to use Gingerbrute's ability, which is nice, I suppose. That's a surprise. Okay, so I'm gonna be able to flip their treasure map. Scry before they draw. If I can get another land, this End of the Goddess might be decent-ish. Make a Godzilla, sure. Yikes, but okay. Not really what I wanted. I really needed a land so I could cast this. I do not like the idea of going down to 2. I don't like the fact that they played that untapped. Possibly just a really large bat. Although Extinction Events, these are both even. So that's nice, even though I didn't draw a land again! Okay. Okay, I have access to a Contempt at the very least, so I can kill stuff like that. Mystic Forge, I do not like. Because of that. Okay. If I draw land, I'm still okay. I'm no longer okay. Seriously? In all of those draws. "19 draws, I've drawn 4 lands. I'm still alive if I use Vraska's Contempt. But barely. If I exile this, I die. I have to exile this. Because this is a tap ability. So I'm at 3. My opponent still has Mystic Forge. Can you get haste? Does not appear so. At this point, even with a land, I'm not sure I can win. I think I have to kill this. Okay, I could kill this. I'm pretty sure I have to kill this. I don't know, maybe that was wrong. I feel like I'm just gonna fall very behind. Alright, choose one of them. I'll cast the other one then. I think they're gonna choose Bolas. Makes the most sense to me. They choose Ashiok. Very interesting. Sure. I still lost. If I'd killed this, I would have only gotten hit for 2. I would have had to block this. Then they'd have this as a 2/2, this and that. But I'd have no creature. Yeah, just not drawing lands there is what took me out. Luckily, we won the first game. I mean, I kept a slow hand, but I still did keep a 3-card hand, and it took me that long to draw additional lands. I feel like I don't actually want Remorse. I feel like by the time it's... Yeah, I feel like what I would want to hit are the early aggressive creatures, but the early aggressive creatures are going to get played early and aggressively. No, I can't keep that. I'm going to try and win off these two. Doubt it will work. I mean, this does help. Deceit is garbage at this point because of Stonecoil Serpent. Oh, and I have to hit Steel Overseer though. I need removal. Very much not a fan of that. The fact that I had to mold a 5 there. I don't think keeping the opening hand was correct though. Question is, do they play a... They do. So my Thief of Sanity is trash for right now. Yeah, there's not even a reason to play it, so I'm just gonna play Azcanta. Of course, in this situation, well, no, I still would rather Azcanta than Agonizing Remorse. Sure, you could see my Thief of Sanity that I can't really play. I don't understand why they're afraid of Ashiok more than Bolas. Maybe it's because it's easier to kill Bolas after he minuses? Like, this can kill this, but it can't kill this, so... Graveyard. I don't want to show them the Blood Crypt. I want them to at least think it's something else. But yeah, there's not really a point in keeping Bedeck. I can't kill Umori. And it can't kill Stonecoil because it protects for multicolored, so... They let me attack with Thief. At this mana, I would rather get something larger. Very disappointed. I'm drawing too many lands, dude. Let me play Stonecoil Serpent for big bucks. Yep. Okay. This can block that for what it's worth. If they attack with Umori, I think I double block to kill. I mean, I'm in a rough spot. I'm in a very rough spot. Thief is pretty useless here. I could block like this. If I get a removal spell, I can kill this and maybe get thief value, but I think I would rather block like this. Yeah. Because at this point, like, the only way I win, I think, is with a board wipe anyway. That ain't it. That ain't it. Not a fan. First impressions of Fireless Bolas. Not good. I'm not sure. If you have suggestions for the deck, though, I would love to hear them. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons. There's a new patron. However, I have not yet reached out because I saw his... I assume it's his. Asher's a... whatever. I saw their post, or their new edition. But to Asher, thank you for the new support. If you'd like to join Asher, as well as all of my other patrons in supporting the show, you'll find links to that down in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, tap that like button, add subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment in the comment section down below, pass the turn in the vid, tell me friends, and of course, until next time, all will be one.